Hi, this is Ginger with the Overdrive Show, and we have an amazing actress today on the line, Jenn Gotzon, of the Oscar-nominated Frost Nixon, Doonby, God's Country, and now the Good Book movie. So we're going to get her on the line now and talk to Jenn Gotzon about her new movie, the Good Book movie. Hello, gorgeous.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Oh my goodness, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm thrilled to be talking to you. I miss you so much. So this is just amazing.
Oh my
I'm so
goodness.
glad to talk to you.
Oh my goodness, it's so nice to hear your voice.
Well, you sound a
It
little
is
hoarse.
so... What was that?
I just said you sound a little hoarse.
I am. I've been speaking all day long for AMTC. I do two presentations that are about an hour to an hour and a half of speaking, and then for the rest of the day, I'm also talking over voices, and so I think that's why I'm hoarse.
Well, I know you are quite the workhorse, and so I was trying not to work you too much today to do the interview, but thank you so much for doing it. The Good Book movie was very unexpected to me. I was excited to see that it's out in stores now. February 2nd it came out, and so I guess get started by saying, like, how did you come upon this role in this movie?
Oh yeah! Oh my goodness! Well, it's really neat because it's a different type of a journey on how one would get cast. And I was invited by Fred Eichelman to be a part of the Roanoke Art Conference as a speaker to teach some of my journey as an actor. And I love being able to teach acting and share some of the techniques that I've learned from the school I graduated from. And so Dr. Fred had me come on out to Roanoke, Virginia, and then also show God's Country, one of the movies. And, well, the director of the Good Book, her name's Sharon Wilhelm, she decided to come out to Roanoke as an attendee, and she attended one of the classes that I taught. And I think the conversation in that class was about maybe how to prepare characters and allowing your emotional journey and emotional presence to that character come alive on screen, and different techniques that you use as an actor to be able to tell that type of story. So that was a class she took, and we met there, and then she approached me afterwards asking for my information, and then I think it was a couple months later, Sharon reached out to me and let me know that she was in development on this movie, and then at that time, she said, "Can I interview you for my publication," which she runs a publication called State Split. And so she interviewed me, and it was a unique interview chat where it wasn't via phone, it was actually via Facebook Messenger. So she would ask me a question, and then I would type out my reply, communicating back, almost like a chat.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, it was. And that's how we got to really know each other. And then from there, she offered me one of the main characters in the Good Book. And the Good Book is this unique, a very unique movie. And there's 7 main characters that the story follows. And so she asked me to play the character of Ruth. And that's how I actually got the role and was a part of this really cool journey of seeing this movie and how it's just been extraordinary, touching people's lives who've been seeing it.
Well, it's amazing because like the Dove Foundation gave it, I guess we call it 5 doves, saying watching the Good Book would do anyone some good. See it soon. And
I know, that was so kind of them to say that. And the Dove Awards, the 5 doves, it's beautiful that they take the time out to watch movies that people are making that are hoping to bring redemptive qualities and hope and inspiration into viewers' lives. And we're just so grateful that you took a look at this sweet little film, and we're so gracious with the comments there.
Well, you know, when we had you out here for Doonby, like, that experience is probably going to be one of the things I utter on my deathbed. Like, that's one of the most precious experiences I had, just spending time with you and obviously Rebecca, and we just had such an amazing time. And that movie, I don't know, in some ways it kind of reminds me of Doonby, because there's this kind of common thread throughout the story that ties it together. And I actually was I'll have to admit, I wasn't doubtful of the talent because I knew they had you in there, but I was doubtful about how they were going to pull off a silent movie in this decade. You just don't see the silent movies anymore. And I thought, how is this going to, really portray that kind of, power of the Bible? And I was shocked in a great way. I cried during every story, every time that, you know what I mean? Like, every time one of these characters, you have Daniel who gets separated from his family, and I was like, no, don't go, and you can just, and some of these, like your character, at first seems like they're not going through something very, very deep, or maybe nothing at all, and then you see their inner struggles and other things they're coping with, and you're like, oh my goodness, this has got even another level of either pain or just difficulty, and it just has this amazing way of showing the power of the word doesn't need us to say anything, which you know me, I love to talk, and I have a big conviction about turning off the background noise in life, and when my kids used to fight in the back seat, I couldn't think to drive, and I feel like sometimes God's saying, okay, you guys quit squabbling, I'm trying to talk, and this movie had an ability to do that, to pull that off, and I did not expect the ending. I'm not going to give it away, of course, but oh my goodness, I didn't expect it to, some of the characters to go through what they did. It was,
and it's neat, just for your listeners, to just a quick, so the good book, it's the first evangelical silent feature film since sound was added to pictures, and it's this movie. It's about this a tiny New Testament which finds its way into the hands of 7 strangers and provides hope during their individual struggles. And I don't know if anyone's ever seen the movie Polar Express.
Yeah, I have.
Okay,
that's pretty popular.
I love Polar Express. But this is what I think the good book does. There's a part in the Polar Express where when they're on the train heading to Santa Land or the North Pole, and there's this ticket, and that ticket is lost by the main character, and that ticket, we as the audience follow that ticket going from the seat up through the wind, out through the train, and then that ticket goes through the snow, turns into a snowball, rolls this big snowball, falls off a cliff, goes down this waterfall, and then swoops up by an eagle, and this eagle thinks it's a worm, and then this ticket is fed to the baby eagle, and the baby eagle realizes it's not a worm, and it spits out the ticket, and then it gets to the bottom of the train and ends up back into the train, and does this full circle, and so we're following the journey of this ticket in the Polar Express. So that's what the good book is. Instead of a ticket, we follow the journey of this small little tiny New Testament, and it's almost like the New Testament that the Gideons get out, and this New Testament goes into one person's hands, and they go through this journey of life, and all of a sudden they hit a crossroads, and in that crossroads they give that New Testament to someone else. Like this little boy Daniel burns his house down and runs away because he's so embarrassed. He's like a 13-year-old, and he gets picked up by this homeless camp, and his parents are looking for him, and then the cops find him, and they bring him in, but they're in the homeless camp. They give him this little New Testament, and now he's got this New Testament book, and when the cops find him, the little boy is found by his family, and all of a sudden the little boy runs back and gives it to the cops, this little New Testament book. Well, now the New Testament book is now in the hand of this cop, and now the cop gets a phone call to learn and his wife's in labor, and he is so excited, and he runs off to go see his wife because they're having a baby, and they're so excited for their first child, and they're celebrating this birth of the baby, and then all of a sudden, a couple days later, they learn that their baby has a stillborn death, and the mourning and the grief and the pain. And then they open up this New Testament that he puts his hand in his pocket and sees it's this little boy, and the Word of God speaks hope in that dark place of turmoil. And then all of a sudden there's an adoption that happens, and then that New Testament book gets handed off, and it just follows the line of these hands. And the character I play, it goes from this homeless lady who journeys into this church, and she's smelly and stinky, and she's got this homeless shopping cart, and the character is played by Amanda Pentecost, and she does a beautiful job, and she comes into this church, and it's a small, very religious church, a church that people look at you if you're not dressed right, and my character's in the choir, and this homeless lady comes to the middle of the congregation and sits down with her homeless shopping cart, and the congregation does not receive her because she feels weird. And well, then they're going and collecting the tithe, and the money plate goes by, and the little homeless woman reaches out to put in her 2 pennies, which represents, we know, the Bible,
in the Bible,
2 cents of the woman, and she reaches to put in her 2 pennies, and the man collecting it ends up moving that plate away and moves it on as if he scorns her. And my character is so disturbed by this religious spirit and goes and sits next to her and befriends her at church in my choir outfit, and I end up taking her in, and I clothe her, and I bring her home to my family, and we have dinner together, and we learn there that my husband and me, there's a rift going on, and I'm trying to be the good wife, but there's something going on that we don't have an audience know. And I close the homeless lady, and I take her in, and then my character helps her get a job, and she gets up on her feet, and my character's trying to be like Christ to her, loving her unconditionally. And we see her now at church, being a church member, and everyone's receiving her, and the church learns from her. And well, the homeless lady is so happy to give me this little New Testament that's changed her life, and now it's a gift she gives to me, and I'm so excited. And my character walks out of the church, and I'm so excited that God has changed her life, and this is a special gift of this small little New Testament. And I put it in my purse. Well, did you know it? This teenage girl comes running down the sidewalk and steals my purse and runs off. And now, there's an audience follow that New Testament in that purse that was stolen into that teenage life. And we see now how that teenager with that stolen property deals. And so things circle and circle and circle, and then it ends up circling back to my character, and we see my character walking on her husband, having an adulterous affair, and then we see my character who strives to be a good Christian woman, but underneath it all is living in a very broken, abandoned marriage, where she walks in on her husband cheating, and we see when life gets rocky, that she felt like God abandoned her. And then we see that Bible all of a sudden transition off. And so that's what I love about the good book. This movie is done through action, no words, through real lifestyle of what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. I think anybody watching this movie can identify with multiple characters and their life of joys, the highs and the lows, and how we choose, if we choose God, if we reject God, and how do we really deal with Scripture, and can we let Scripture conform us and reform us and transform us? Or do we just say, it's some words in a book that church tells us to believe? Or do we say, God really does say He works all things together for good to those who believe according to His purpose?
Exactly.
And how the good book can be a living word. It's incredible. Yeah, it's neat. It's really neat how Sharon Mohan, who's the writer, director, filmmaker, who's won awards for her direction in this movie. That's a good book has been nominated for a lot of awards, including the Stellar Award at the largest Christian film festival them are in Los Angeles, and it's incredible to see this 40-minute silent film, how it's been touching people's lives. And it's now just released in stores last week, back on Monday, on February 2nd, in Christian bookstores across the country, and it's been really cool. I've been just so humbled to be a part of the vision that God put on Sharon's heart as a director, and to be able to tell one character in the story that hopefully can relate to many.
You know, I think it's a great story of how God reaches people. Sometimes, you know, like the Bible makes it through several different people's hands, sometimes by accident, sometimes by destruction, sometimes by purpose, but it's indestructible in itself, and the power that's behind it is as well. And whether people realize it or not, these lives underneath are being affected if we do what we're, you know, if we just follow God, if it's just, we just love one another. I think that's the biggest thing in the world. I love, in Christian music, I was a huge fan of Rich Mullins growing up, and, you know, he said, he said, I didn't become a Christian because of a Christian song. I didn't become a Christian because somebody had me memorize a bunch of verses or, you know, different things. He said, I didn't become a Christian because someone showed me what's the nuts and bolts of Christianity. I became a Christian because people were willing to be the nuts and bolts in my life. It was by coming up next to me and loving me and just saying kind words, just sitting down and saying hi. And I tell you what, when your character comes in, and you know, I didn't know when your character was going to come in. I didn't want to know where you came in. And as soon as you came in, I'm like crying. I'm like, I have to rewind it now because I can't see the screen. I'm just like, it's really, you don't know what it's like. Well, I guess you do. You have friends that are actors, but it's just, you know, it's because I have an emotional connection to you. My emotional connection was like heightened by about 20 times what it would normally have been. But it was beautiful because it's not always pretty. I love that she didn't shy away from some of the ugliness that happens to people who are following God, you know, and who are really truly trying to not be to try to just spread the good book. And you know, and some of them are severely persecuted in this movie. And I, you know, that there is nothing. I won't give that away either. But the last thing that they put up on the screen, they put up a few words on the screen at the end, and that was kind of, you know, enveloped the whole movie, you know. And I love this movie. Like I said, I had my doubts.
So sweet. You know, I'm sitting here with tears running down my eyes. I'm right now currently in Tallahassee, Florida. I work for a ministry called Actors, Models, Talent for Christ, and it's a Christian training program that helps raise up Christian artists to be role models in arts and entertainment. And we had auditions today for enrollment in the program, and so it's funny. I'm sitting here after serving in this ministry today, and hearing you and connecting right now with you, remembering and reflecting in my soul of that deep kindred bond, how God provided in our friendship with Rebecca and Regina when you so kindly walked alongside to be able to bring the movie Doomsday out to Michigan, and that event that you helped produce, and how our time together as sisters, because of that fellowship in God, is a body that will never, ever, ever be forgotten. It's a soul deep kindred spirit of friendship, of sisterhood, and it's real. And you don't get that fellowship anywhere else except through the communion of the Holy Spirit. It's a mystery, and it's special, and it's beautiful. And I just love and miss you to pieces, and I'm so grateful that we get to have some time right now to just chat. And I know that I just appreciate you so very, very much, Ginger, and just love you so very much.
Well, all of that and way more back at you. It's been it's surreal. I guess the world of social media, I think it desensitizes us to the human experience of, sharing stories and praying together. I mean, the praying that you and I and Rebecca would just start praying together or just hug each other, and then just tears. We lost a lot of tears that week, I mean, but every time you post something, I mean, I feel a connection when you go through something and need prayer. I feel immediately connected and burdened, and I think that is so lacking, and that human experience that I pass on. And even my kids are like, oh my, it's a Jenn movie. I mean, it's not a Jenn movie, but it looks like the Jenn shrine a little bit, because we have our big Doonby poster, and then Ernie Hudson. Well, we saw Ernie Hudson at Comic-Con, and he signed it for us. And then we have your headshots, and then like my daughters have them, and my youngest room, and then I have mine next to my Doonby poster in my room.
Oh my God, these guys are so adorable. And so when your eyes cross that, the only thing I would request is if you could just pray for God's protection over the path that He has me and the ministry that He has all of us on. That's all my heart is to be used by God to bring. To use the gifts and talents that He's given, only to be in parts of projects that can inspire people's lives. And so I pray that you would see that, and that would be just a prayer coverage, that God would just continue to lead in God, and I would be discerning to His Spirit. I'm going to have to get going very soon, because I'm currently at Actors Models Hunt for Christ right now, and our group just got done, and we're about to head to dinner. And so I'm so grateful on time, but I just thank you, Ginger, so much, as we walk alongside each other in good times and hard times and fun times, and you've been alongside my journey.
It's already been incredible. Way. Yeah, I mean, and it's not been. Well, December was a year, so it's been a little over a year. It's pretty incredible. That was 2013. So
it's crazy. Oh, this is funny. So Michael Warren,
he was in that. I saw him.
He was a financial sponsor for our premiere in Michigan for Doonby. Michael Warren, just a little fun trivia.
I saw him. In the movie.
He plays a character who runs after the teenager who steals my purse.
I know. I was like, was that Michael?
And at the end of the movie, of the good book, is his grandfather, who shares his testimony, the grandfather's testimony, how he used to be a Bible smuggler in the foreign countries. And Michael's grandfather drove with Michael, I think, like 14 hours to come work on the good book.
Oh, my God.
I might be wrong with the time. And we had no idea that his grandfather was a Bible smuggler. And he was sharing his story. And Sharon's like, can we videotape this?
Oh.
And we videotaped it. And it was so cool to see that the end of the movie. And then, like, Richard Wilson, who plays the pastor in the church, God has taken Richard on an extraordinary journey where we just worked on the colors of Emily together. And Apollonia Gabriel, she played the mother who was mourning for her child. And Apollonia just launched a beautiful, hysterical radio show called Baby Shows with John Baldwin, who we all met at the Roanoke Film Convention. And it is just so cool. The good book's got so many hands involved, like Tori Martin, and it's so neat.
It's kind of like in the movie. It's like as the movie and the experience of the movie is being passed along, it's having an impact just as itself, just following the ticket, as you might say, just around all the different lights. When I saw Michael, I was like, wait a minute, Michael just ran after her purse. That was Michael Warren. I mean, like, it's just so cool to have all those experiences, and I know he's a huge supporter of you and everything. I love everything you're doing with the the young actors, and I've heard you speak more than once, and I'm a huge fan of God's work through you. I know you don't want to be praised, but I have to. I'll just say it like that, and you might take it that way. But You have a power
so
to just.
Humbling. It's so sweet.
Well, you do. You have a gift for it.
I want to share a little bit right now, just so you know, keeping it real. I'm walking through the lobby of the hotel, and I'm going out to meet our group. And one of our the people that's with us, her name's Joanne Smallin, and her daughter, Nicole Smallin, is the lead actress in a movie called 8 Days that came to theaters last week, and it's about the awareness of sex trafficking and how lives can be healed from this dark place. So I'm just about out here to meet up with Joanne and our group.
Wow.
And so I think it would be so neat for you to chat with Nicole and have Nicole share with your audience about her extraordinary journey and what God's doing.
Absolutely.
We were at an audition. I wasn't at the audition, but a couple weeks ago for AMTC that Joanne was, and they had in the group of people auditioning, there was a girl who had a prostitute, and it happened to be that day her pimp, I mean this is real, her pimp let her had a day off, and in that day off she was led to come to the audition for AMTC.
Oh my.
And she happened to end up auditioning in Joanne's room, again, her daughter is the lead of 8 Days.
Oh.
And she's been moving this ministry to fight against sex trafficking. And this
Wow.
girl auditioned, and she ended up sharing with Joanne what's happening. And the entire group at AMPC that weekend, led by God, was able to deliver her out of that lifestyle of prostitution.
Oh, praise Jesus. Oh my goodness. That is absolutely.
It is
I got
incredible.
chills just hearing you tell that. That's amazing.
It is so cool. I'm going to have Joanne just say hi.
Okay.
Just so you can say hi. Joanne, this is just, actually, I'm going to put you, let's see how to do this. I'm going to put you on a little bit of speakerphone, just because I think that may be more fun. So Joanne, meet Ginger. Ginger, meet Joanne. Hey, Ginger.
Hi, Joanne. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. And you?
I'm doing great. Anytime I can speak to my sister Jenn, it's awesome. I just love talking to her, and she said some wonderful things about you and your daughter and the work that is being done through God, from God, through you and your daughter especially. It's just incredible. I have to see this movie. I haven't seen it yet. The movie that she's in, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, the movie is having a great impact, and it's really educating the people in the United States. And then in March, we're heading to South Africa for 2.5 weeks to hit those big major cities there, Pretoria, Johannesburg, and Cape Town.
Oh my goodness, that is incredible. I would love to
really
talk
exciting.
to you. I was going to say, I'd love to talk to you and your daughter sometime, just about,
Absolutely.
It sounds like it's a definite common, burden that you guys have.
I'm so glad you guys are going to be all new BFFs forever and ever and ever. Ginger, we met through the publicist of Gingy, and Ginger does PR for, Ginger's manager for musicians. And one of our guys who's here is Brandon Jay. He just got picked up by a subdivision of Sony to write songs for major artists like Katy Perry and Justin Bieber. And so he's on our staff right now, which is it's just been neat. And that happened a week ago. But God has been doing extraordinary things through Actors on the Pound for Christ. And it's been neat serving in this ministry as a way to give back and pour into the next generation, raising up performers who want to be role models. So if anyone who's interested in art and entertainment and wants to go through a training program, they can go to amtcworld.com to learn about it, and then they can send us to an audition in their area.
That's awesome. Well, you got to give her my information, give her my phone number, my email, whatever you want to give her, and so I can connect with her and get more information about maybe setting up an interview with her and her daughter, to just talk about their ministry and what's going on there, and if there's ways that people can even maybe help help their ministry.
Absolutely, that'd be great. Thank you so much, Ginger. It was great talking to you.
Thank you. It was great talking to you too.
Okay, hon. Ginger's amazing. I just love your face.
I just love you. we just so.
Thanks for the impromptu-ness of me being able to share with you some of my family here at AMGC. And thank you so much for your encouragement with the good book and Sharon Wilharm's filmmaking journeys. And also, forever and ever and ever, my heart will always be in memory of our special time in Michigan when you hosted the premiere for Dune B. And gosh, it was good times. Oh, Ginger, hey, this is crazy.
Oh my gosh.
The other day I was going through some photos and I saw the picture that you took of God's Country on Netflix.
Yes.
And that will always be so near to my heart. Leading lady in a movie.
See?
What was it called? Strong female lead in a movie?
Yes, that was the category. It said strong movies featuring strong female lead. And that was one of the first movies up there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta screenshot or take a picture of this. I mean, I was so excited. I was like that. And now, Dune B is still on Netflix for people to watch. And I'm gonna rent Dragon Day or buy Dragon Day because I'm so glad it's finally out.
Yeah, Dragon Day you can get on Amazon Prime. It hasn't yet come to Netflix, but it's in stores in Walmart and Target and Best Buy. And Dragon Day is about what will we do is China took over America due to our debt, and it's a political cyberspace thriller. It's really cool.
I've been anxious to watch that since you talked about that a couple of years ago. I mean, or a year or so ago. I mean, I was wanting to watch it then, so I'm glad it's finally out, so I can watch it on Amazon. So that's awesome. Well, I know you got to get to where you're going. I'm keeping you from your stuff there. So just thank you so much, sweetheart.
Thank you, Miss Ginger. Hugs and kisses, hugs and kisses, hugs and kisses, and more hugs and kisses.
Back at you and more. Well, we will talk soon.
We have to make enough time to get together and do a fun movie premiere. Maybe we could do a movie premiere for Sinking Sand when that comes out. Or Forgiven. Maybe we could do it with Forgiven with Kevin Sorbo and me.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to that one. You told me the storyline, so I'm ready for that one. I really want to see that. I'm up on all of your movies, I guess. So, but I'm really excited to see that too.
Awesome. I love you to pieces, and I love your family. Give your daughters a big hug for me, okay?
I will. One's in the Bahamas right now. My 16-year-old. She's on a cruise. She saved up her money working in a Chinese restaurant, waiting tables, in order to go with her friend and her friend's family. And so she's somewhere in the Bahamas right now, or on the sea. So she's pretty happy right now.
That is awesome, and that is a good element of fruit. When you work hard, you get to play hard.
Exactly, and she'll spend hard. She's my diva.
Then you have to laugh hard.
Have a great time, and you be safe and take care of yourself, please.
Thank you, Ginger. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And all of your viewers and listeners, I just want to encourage everyone, if you haven't already, just stop, pray, ask God to reveal His love to you. Let Him just be enveloped by the loving arms that God has for each one of us. It's that intimate relationship that we can really have if we just stop, pray, and listen and receive that loving gift that God gives. God bless you. I love you all so very much.
Well, thank you. We'll see you next time officially on a movie interview, but unofficially I will talk to you later.
Awesome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.